Good evening, everybody. Matt Geary here for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With me tonight, we have Michael Tharaval.
Good evening, everyone.
We have Wes as Valshal Nostius.
Evening, everyone.
We have Dave as Thomas Moonstar.
Evening, all.
Mark as Lance.
Greetings, Dungeoneers.
And back again, Pete as Dragon.
I hit it with my axe.
Okay, ladies and gents. We were at the tail end of getting back to the city of Taunt in the last episode, last session. You had a bit of a run-in with one of the local captains who was trying to sort of kind of stiff you for a bit more money, danger money to get back. You acquired yourself two drunken sailors called PJ and Duncan. You're basically, they've gone off to try and find a way to get you on a ship back to Taunt. Now, is there any final things? Because I'll expedite things slightly, so you're not sort of faffing around and poor Pete's just sat there doing nothing. But is there anything else you want to do in Pure Harbor before we find you a ship and ship you home?
Not that I can think of.
No, I
Not off
don't
the top
think
of my
so.
head, no.
No. Okay. Right. So, PJ and Duncan. I'm gonna have to give these Newcastle accents really bad Newcastle accents.
Yes, you are.
Oh, wait, didn't we want to hire
man.
more sailors?
Oh, hey, man. Yeah, you did want to get some more sailors. That is true.
They were going to help us sort that out anyway, weren't they?
Okay. Okay. We'll try and okay. Sailors, because you need some sailors to help out and stuff. All right. So, PJ and Duncan come back. Oh, go away, man. We found some local sailors who are going to help you out. I'm not going to try that. I'm not going to try a Newcastle accent. Go away,
that wasn't too bad.
I hope I give you the fucking shits. If you know, you know.
I'd have difficulty.
So they come
I'm
around.
from that area as well.
They take you sort of to the local docks where there are a gaggle of sort of sailors who have been stuck in port. Some of them have been let go from their ships. Some of them are, you know, a part of a ship's crew, but sort of not overly happy because they're not going anywhere. Basically, as you sort of walk into the sort of kind of main port area, you get surrounded by these sailors. PJ basically turns around and says, "Hoey, man, back up." I'm not even going to try this accent, so I'm just going to do it in my normal accent. So he says,
Man, stay back right there.
and he says, I've told them that you pay well, and that you're looking for sailors. So what I'll need you to do is to roll me. What are you going to say to them? What are you going to offer them? And then I need some persuasion rolls, basically. So, depending on how persuasive you are, depending on how many sailors you get, and your persuasion rolls will be modified depending on how stingy you are, basically. So, it's up to you to sort of think about that. So, what are you going to say to these sailors?
I can't think of anything personally.
I wish I could say I was surprised.
Hey, I'm a silent ASMR, it's alright.
Mm-hmm.
It's all part of the role.
Yeah, just don't roll any dice.
Okay, so how are you going to entice them to come with you? Let's just say that.
How much did we offer the two previously?
Gave them 5 silver each.
Did you?
Okay,
Was it only
and,
5
did-
silver each?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they were very grateful, I'd like to add.
I think that was 5 silver each, just sort of because they
Uh,
just
Probably that was like a stipend or something. I don't
Yeah.
think we actually discussed
how much
actual wages or
wages
or,
and stuff like that.
yeah.
We just sweeten the pot.
Yeah, sweeten the pot. So obviously, are you going to tell them the truth? Are you going to lie to them? How are you going to get them to come with you? What is it you're going to say to these sailors?
How
to
is
try-
it?
I don't
Pirates
think
divvy up loot. Is it like they give them shares or something, right? Like, oh, you get like 1 share of the loot.
Yeah,
I don't
depending
know.
on rank, don't they have sort of
Yeah.
certain things? So like the captain
Yeah.
gets a bigger share than the
Officers get share
officers, and then
Yeah.
obviously men and stuff like that. So obviously you can put that into any ships that they capture, or any loot is X amount is
That's
theirs.
what I was gonna offer them the base rate of, what was it, 5 silver, and then like, shares of loot, shares of
5
spoils.
silver. 5 silver overall, or 5 silver per period. Bearing in mind
Per-
that
I think it was per period that we
So-
said.
well, that might be different.
Hmm.
Remembering there's a lot more of these people. So
Well, I guess like in theory.
And
we'd
how much
actually
money
have
do you guys
captain.
have? And did anybody put that sort of into the
We had like 1,000 Ethereum, didn't we?
Ethereum?
we've got
Ethereum. That's
Platinum.
that's crypto.
We moved into cryptocurrency, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and they've got,
D&D has gone crypto.
that's it. You just need to download this app.
Oh, dear.
Here's your password.
Yeah.
We'll be dealing with NFTs.
On a completely random note, but I've got like what's it called, Norton antivirus and stuff, and you can, when your computers
Yeah.
it
I've
can
got that as
it can
well.
crypto mine. But I did some digging, and it was costing me more money in electricity than it was and what I was getting in Ethereum. So I was just like, yeah, stop that. Obviously, there's going to be some of them who'll have military service, some of them who'll just be merchants. So it's sort of kind of up to you.
I mean,
how-
depending on the size of the ship that we get, assuming that there will be some non-sailor folks stuck in Pure Harbour who would love to get over to Ballon to either buy or sell or trade.
But
that
then you
we-
got to obviously persuade them that you're going to get them across safely and stuff, aren't you?
Well,
So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if we get them with us as well, it will give it might persuade the sailors that it's actually a worthwhile cause. And I've completely lost where I'm going with this.
correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Tharavel get a bonus if he's deceiving people?
And
Are we
persuading
deceiving
people.
them?
Are we deceiving them? I'm not suggesting
I
we
get-
tell them
I get-
the 100% truth, but I don't think we should outright lie to them.
I get
But
the
this
same
is my
for
point.
persuasion and deception. So you can use
So
either
my-
or.
So my point being that that we might want to look at how we tailor things.
Mhm.
We don't want to say we're going to make a death or glory run against the enemy because
But I'm a paladin.
Not.
Because-
How much money did you get?
I'm all
How
for
much
death
money
and
did you
glory.
have left after?
So we have got 1,400 platinum and 5,000 gold.
And is that
left.
all in the Discord chat, by the way, just so we keep an eye on that?
I think Mike said he was going to put it in. I don't know whether we
I
did.
don't think he did.
I don't think-
Well,
What was this?
I wrote it down. I can show you where I wrote it.
Okay, just make sure it's on there. So you've got that.
Yeah.
Plus, what have you got left over from to sort of pay
I think
wages?
I had nothing.
So big.
So I've got a bit in my pocket. Sort of.
But I mean,
I've got-
you've got
From
stuff
what we
in
had left over last week, it was at
So
something
bear
like
in mind, you've
5,000
also got
gold, 5,000 gold,
Camber Ford as
and-
well.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah, so
platinum.
after we dished out the gold to the inhabitants of Dry Harbour, we had 5,000 gold left, and then we kept all the platinum anyway, so 1,400 of that. So equivalent 19,000 gold.
Ooh.
You got 19,000 gold. Is that including the stuff you've left in?
No, that's separate. That's just what we had left
That's-
over after
that's-
our.
Just what we looted from the cavern.
Okay. So you've got a fair bit of gold there. So
I've got a bit on me as well. I'm sure we all have a little bit of
Yeah.
spending money in our pockets.
Okay, so again, well, how many you get and the quality of them is all going to be down to what you say to them and your roles and stuff. So,
We don't want to outright lie, but we can't also pretend it's going to be
Smooth sailing, as it were.
a cruise ship, is it?
No.
So, may I suggest we say that
so
we have a ship that we have acquired back in Ballon that we need a crew for. We need to get back there, obviously. But once we're there, one of the things we want to be doing is we want to use that to do some investigation and trading around and about that may give us an opportunity for a certain amount of
Pillaging.
acquisition opportunities. And that we would, of course, be looking at making sure that the prize money and the proceeds were split appropriately with our crew, and kind of work around that.
Sounds good.
I'm just looking at sort of kind of average goal, how much it's going to cost and stuff for you. You've got sort of. There's some people like looking at like really going into how to supply a ship and how much it's going to cost for barrels, block and tackle, chain, crowbars, grappling hooks, hammers, healers, car glass, stuff like
Are
that.
you sure it's not a thread that you did like a year or so back? I forgot about it.
Possibly. I reckon what you're going to have is sort of expert sailor is going to cost you about two gold. Expert sailors will probably cost you about 2 gold a day. Any sort of like general, sort of middling sort of guys, maybe a
what's the
gold,
minimum-
and sort of common would be maybe I don't know, what's 5 silver is half gold.
Well, what's the
Yeah.
minimum we need to have a skeleton crew? Like,
Well, it's up to
Like,
you.
yeah.
It's not. It's
Yeah,
down to
everyone's
sort of kind of like obviously you can get sort of like a group of them that don't know very much and then try and train them. But you've got to also
Well-
understand that there's not a time limit. It's just that there's going to be. And I was thinking about this because technically when we started this campaign 2 years ago, it was what is effectively summer, so July. I can't remember exactly the name of the month in D&D terms, but it's effectively was July. You've been going for about just under 2 months now, I think, maybe 2 months, maybe more, which means you're going into autumn. So obviously the seas and stuff are going to be slightly more. The longer you leave it, sooner it starts becoming winter, and then obviously things become sort of slightly more hazardous. So,
But it also becomes harder for someone to try and chase you down and board you
Mm.
when you're being bounced and ricocheted around by the sea as well.
I'm just thinking we don't need like a full crew of like expert sailors. We can have like a handful of those, and then
Yeah, and then train the others on the job.
yeah,
Yeah.
like just have our officers be the experts.
Well,
Time being.
don't you mean the NCOs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
We're kind of the officers.
We
but
will
a
be. Yeah.
core of a good crew is the NCOs.
yeah. That's
now
what
also
I meant.
bear in mind, and it's all very much down to how you want to deal with the situation. If you do want to go build a navy, again, it's all depending on how you want to sort of deal with Kiberath and stuff like that. But if you want to sort of go straight on with another, you're gonna have to find out how many ships they are, and then obviously match that by sort of acquiring ships yourself, and then crew, and then the quality is going to have to be slightly better, obviously, to sort of try and deal with that. You can sort of try and do some raids and stuff like that to reduce the number of ships against you, or you can try and completely ignore the navy and try and deal with it from within.
Yeah.
So it's all
I
up to
thought
you.
we
How,
settled on the covert action anyway, like the scouting mission and whatnot.
yeah, for
first.
scouting, I think
Yeah.
in general, and I
Okay.
think, but yeah, just things to think about and stuff, because obviously, just having a bunch of Joe farmers who don't know much about sailing is not going to help you in any naval battles that may or may not happen.
Yeah, even
I'm
if we do,
not- don't- wait one second. Are you sure about that? Because I'm going to say it's Ukrainian farmers.
well,
That's
there
all
you
I'm
go.
saying.
Yeah, Vietnam as well. There you go. So yeah. Afghanistan,
I mean-
all of them. Yeah.
at the end of the day, ideally, we need a solid cadre anyway that to base anything around. Even if whether we have one ship or 50, we need to start somewhere, and
Yeah.
we need to be, but we need to blood the crew as well. So we don't want to just get a brand new crew that's never really done much and then try and make a run at the base anyway.
No, especially crew that haven't worked together before.
So you want to be doing a little bit of light raiding, if you like, to build up a bit of esprit de corps and to weed out the ones that you can't trust. Because, I'm sure they can swim, right?
Well, they're in the wrong job if they can't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
these aren't going to be you're not going to be able to get all the crew that you need here, but you're going to get enough maybe to man a ship or two to come with you. So basically, what are you going to say to them to try and persuade them to come with you?
Death or glory?
That's not a good way to persuade merchant sailors.
So I've got, gentlemen, what we offer you is not only a way to fill your pockets. You're sailors, adventurers. You've signed up for a life on the ocean, not to be cooped up in a town with no direction. You deserve a life of action and adventure, seeking out strange new lands. The life of a sailor is not the easiest, but is a far more fulfilling than seeing the same town, same people, and doing the same things day in, day out. On top of the wage we offer you, your lives will have meaning. There's no better feeling sailing the open seas with the sun on your face and the wind at your back. Yes, there are dangers, but no more than thieves and street rats that you may meet walking in the streets of a town.
Did you come up with that? Did you write that?
Yes.
Very
Just
good.
there now.
Nice.
That was
Wow.
good. I like that.
Okay, I'll give you some advantage on that. Yeah.
I was no idea what you were saying in the background because I was concentrating on writing that.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what's going on.
Give yourself an inspiration point for that. There you go.
Get in.
You can have an inspiration point for that.
Woo.
Okay. So right, roll me persuasion. And you can have advantage on it. Who's got the best persuasion, by the way?
Danny.
I think. Is it you? I've got +7.
Well, there you go.
Okay, roll it then. Roll persuasion. Yep. Okay. You get this almighty sort of kind of you have a bunch of them sort of kind of looking at each other, a bit of a murmuring, and then this almighty sort of kind of rapturous roar comes up from all of them. All sort of kind of agreeing with you. One of them says, "How much do you pay?"
I think that was the bit you were talking about, was it?
I turn around and point at him and say, "How much are you worth?"
There's a lot of sort of mumbling. It's just like, well, my old skipper, he used to give me, and then he gives you some sort of overarched sort of figure, which is probably bullshit. A couple of gold a day.
I laugh at him. I turn and wave to wave the others over and say, "I have a paladin here, and they're not very fond of liars. So, did you want to maybe give me a slightly better answer to that? Because that's a very pointy stick he's carrying."
Roll me
with the
intimidation. Roll me intimidation. You can have advantage on that. Okay.
Nice.
He sort of stutters, cracks back, and he sort of kind of looks down and says, "Yeah, 5 silver. 5 silver a day."
Sounds a little bit more reasonable, wouldn't you say, sir?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll roll some dice here. I'm gonna roll.
So what I basically need to do now is get some sand into Val's eyes so that he keeps twitching and murmuring. So I can use him to intimidate everyone.
That's fine. I keep doing that. I was like, how many eyes?
Okay, so you've got 141 interested. Of those, 23 are of good quality, are actual sort of professional sailors. The rest are sort of kind of know their way around a ship. So you've got 143, 23 of which are skilled, basically.
How many of those have got military experience?
Of the 23, would say all 23 of them will have military. They'll pretty
Okay.
proper sort of sailors.
Okay.
100,
So,
and then the rest are sort of, average. Sort of, they know how to sort of tie a knot and sort of hoist a sail and stuff like that. So
looking at them, looking at the 141, I turn to PJ and Duncan and say to them, right, I figure we can probably make slots for about 100 of these guys. So we need to weed them out. We need to weed out the ones that you know are slackers. I don't know. So it's very simple. If any of these are your mates and they're going to slack off thinking that they've got an in because you're here, for every 10 of them that go overboard, whether it's on the way or when we get to a destination, I'm going to consider chucking you after them. And the more the more we get rid of, the more likely you guys are off the job as well.
roll me intimidation. Yeah, they seem suitably sort of like, oh, we're not gonna screw you over. We'll go and we'll find some. We'll get the best ones. Don't you worry. Why, hey, man, we'll get the best ones. So they take themselves off and start sort of like, you got some of the sailors going, oh, PJ. He's just like, and they're like sort of kind of staring away from certain people and stuff, having the odd glance back at you. It's like, you're gonna get me on there. It's like he's like sort of ignoring them and stuff. So let's say, a couple of hours later, they've sort of kind of got a sort of a line of them that sort of coming towards you, like they would sort of kind of signing on to a new ship. You're sort of kind of maybe at sort of the what's it called? You're at the one of the port houses, one of the houses there. There's like a little desk and stuff, and they're all sort of lining up to make their mark. So you've got 77 of sort of varying stock and 23 trained sailors.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just seemed like a nice round number to put out my backside. Sorry, guys. But as a cadre, that seemed like a good option.
Yeah.
So
160 people.
Payment wise and stuff.
So
the regular guys you can pay sort of 5 silver a day.
So I look up them and I say, okay, so what was it for the experienced guys again?
2 gold a day for experienced.
So I look up to everyone. I say, right, we aren't shipping out just yet, but we will be shortly. We're sorting that out. So you guys, the more experienced people, you're going to get 1 now and 1 when you get on ship with us. The rest of you, you're going to get 2, and there'll be 3 each when we actually ship out. So 3 silver, yeah?
Okay, yep.
Because, and I want you to bear in mind, if you get yourself off your face in grog and you get left behind, I'm pocketing that 3 or that 1 or whatever. If you don't make it to the ship when we send word out where we're off, you're done. You're better off a little bit, but even if we come back, we will know you and you will not get work with us again.
Okay, no problem.
Can we also say that for the experienced sailors, if they make the extra effort to train up the less experienced ones, there could be incentives.
Well, I'm assuming you're going to have to sort of work out some sort of
Packing order.
Yeah, packing order, and how, what, like in the Royal Navy and stuff. Certain people get X amount depending on sort of loot and stuff. You can sort of, but you don't have to talk about this now. They're all right to go with you. back to taunt.
Yeah.
You can basically, this is them coming with you to taunt.
Yeah.
You can sort of
The way-
persuade them to sort of go to war with you effectively after, if you want to.
Plus, we'll have the voyage to evaluate how they deal with each other
Mm.
and how they act, and we can use that to inform how we sort of lay people out.
And plus, on the back of Tharavol's suggestion that we give incentives to the experienced crew for training up the sort of under ranks, we could give incentives to them for actually showing the willing and wanting to learn and increasing their skills.
That's called a
actually what
promotion.
I was going to extend on as well. Yeah. So
The thing is that once we have a structure in place, then there will be concepts like leading hands and things like that.
Mhm.
So if you do well, we can step you up and you get a bit extra. If you're not doing anything, you're in the base or you're at the door. And the same happens at the various ranks, because NCOs have various ranks within there. So there's like a pyramid structure, and that runs parallel to officers and in theory underneath, but yeah, right. So, from that point of view, they're going to be they're all aware of how it works.
Mhm.
They just don't know where they sit at the moment. They just know that the experienced ones will be teaching those that don't know so much.
Yep. Okay.
And
all right. So you give them, we'll work the money out and stuff afterwards. So you're giving them the 1 gold to their experienced sailors. You give them their sort of 2 silver each to the normal sailors, and you basically find yourself a ship. Now the captain is willing to come with you, or he's willing to sell you the ship. It's up to you. He's either says, I'm getting a bit long in the tooth, but and I kind of want to retire, but you can pay me a good wage and I'll go with you, or you can buy my ship off me. She's a good ship. Needs a lick of paint, but she'll serve you well.
How about go on, Mark?
How about we say to him, we'll pay him to captain a cross, a fair amount, and on the other side, if he still wants to, we'll discuss buying the ship, but we may have other offers for him, and we would appreciate, because we may have use of someone with his skill that won't involve necessarily going out to sea.
Okay.
And also means we get to try the ship before we buy it and make sure it's in good.
Try before you buy. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He'll be 5 gold a day because he's a captain, I guess. Makes sort of quality. His quality we will do at another point in time because I won't get too bogged down on that actually. We'll do that another time. Ship wise, he has got. What has he got? What ship is Athelon's honor? What did
The
we say?
Corellian YT 1300 freighter.
What did we say? What rate was it? What did we say size was? Because we said it was a merchant ship, but I said...
Don't know if we ever actually...
I think we skipped that bit.
Yeah, okay. Well, we can figure that out afterwards. It's not...
I know you should have. You showed us like a diagram or a picture of like all the different types of sizes of ships, but that was for getting a small craft. It wasn't actually for deciding what our current craft was.
Okay, so
Man of War.
he has got a yeah, he's got a he's got a sixth rate man of war.
What session is this again? Sorry,
49.
49.
Yeah. So 6th rate man of war. And I'll say that Tharavol's is probably a frigate. Well, it's a merchant ship that could probably be turned into a frigate. Anybody want to name the captain?
Kirk.
Captain Kirk, yeah.
Why
Can't
not?
have Kirk. There's Girk around. That's.
Kirk and Kirk.
I think I've shot my privileges with PJ and Duncan for a little bit.
Call him Kirk if you want. Kirk. Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk. And his he's got a 5th rate.
Well, it was
This means
six,
you have to do a Kirk
Oh, sorry, 6th rate. Yeah, sorry.
accent every now you speak with him.
So you mean he's
So
got
far, we have gone across 2 jumps. 6th rate.
So you mean he's got to put some really funny run together and sudden unpredictable stops
Yeah.
into his speech?
Okay. So it comes to the time. I will roll a dice to see how many of these guys return sober. Of the 70, all the sort of proper sailors to come back. Good, but of the 35 of the 77, half pretty much, come back slightly inebriated.
Draken, do you fancy going for a jog? Oh no, Draken's not here, is he?
No.
Shame. Val, did you fancy taking these gentlemen for a bit of a walk around the harbour?
Oh, that's not a good idea. Last time I went out with some Navy boys, I got drunk too.
Just a gentle jog. See if they can express their spirits, shall we say? What do you think?
That or I could
Oh yeah, you
cure
could
them all
thing.
right now. Yeah.
Oh god,
Are
yeah.
you going to do a mass detox,
a
mass cleanse.
a mass detox?
Everybody join hands.
So I want you to explain to me how you're going to do this. So
As they come on board one by one, I'm going to touch them on the forehead.
Okay, yeah. So
Hey, by the power of Christ compelled you.
Power of Bahamut compels you.
So
I'll stand at the bottom of the gangplank and encourage them.
So they start going.
Just shove them all into the
up,
water.
as you sort of kind of start to they start retching, and like that black sort of stuff starts leaking from, all the toxins start sort of leaking out of them. They're sick. They're generally sort of scared. The other ones who are behind start sort of kind of shying off because they don't want the sort of kind of thing, and then obviously.
So I get the I've got that flail.
Yeah.
So I get that out and I just start idly sort of twirling it around and looking threatening at the bottom and say, "You're not thinking about changing your mind, are you?"
Roll me
Are we
intimidation.
press
Roll me
ganging them
intimidation. Yeah, roll me intimidation. Yeah, they're suitably intimidated, and they slowly, one by one, start taking their medicine, inverted commas, and go on the ship, looking very sorry for themselves as they do so.
I figure they're earning those 3 extra silver, aren't they?
Yeah. So everybody's on the ship. Captain Kirk says, "Adventurers, is it time to engage and leave the port?"
I think it's a good time for us to go forth.
Let's go forth. And he's sort of kind of doing all these juds with his hands as he talks like this. Okay, so you get on the ship. The trained sailors basically go about their business, start sort of doing what they need to do without being told. The ex-drunken ones are also kind of milling around, looking slightly sheepish. And the other ones sort of who haven't got any military experience sort of look at the ship and seem slightly bemused. Captain Kirk basically gets starts going around with some of his sort of deck sergeants and his lieutenants and stuff to sort of get them into some sort of shape to sort of deal with the ship. So they're all running off and doing their thing. The ship leaves and starts making its way back to Taunt. Let me just check something. Okay. And you make it back. You make it back to the shores of Balon, pretty much unmolested. You think you saw the odd sort of ship here and there, but Kirk basically seems to have navigated you back there unscathed. You make it back to the port. You moor up, and I guess you disembark. I'm not sure if you're paying the sailors straight away, or what you're going to say to them. What's the next step?
We should pay them at the very least.
Yeah.
Well, we said
Problem is, if we pay them now, they might go and get drunk again.
But considering they
soon do
know
we
what's
need
waiting
them?
for them.
Considering what happened last time.
The cleansing.
It's down to you. So there's going to be a bit of there's probably going to be a bit of time when you're going to have to decide how you're going to deal with the situation, how long you want to prepare for it. Obviously, the shorter means you're going to be less prepared. The longer, more prepared you are, but the more prepared they're going to be. So it's up to you how you sort of kind of want to deal with the situation. Currently, you have no intel, really, bar some books and some maps on what's around.
Trying to think that as part as during the voyage and the discussions with the crew, we need to try and get them to not swear them to secrecy as such, but just don't go blabbing your mouth off, because you never know who's listening and who's around. If we're trying to sneak about and build up our own might, we don't want
You see,
the
I had
cultists.
an idea there. So we've got our own crew, and obviously we need to get them ready to do other stuff anyway. We've got, these guys. So obviously the captain, we said when we got there, we'd make a decision on what to do moving forward.
True enough, yeah.
So how maybe we should approach him and see how he feels about keeping our crew on board and just doing a little bit of light training in the coastal waters and keeping them busy for a bit. And in return, we're looking at setting up and starting to grow a new navy, so to speak, for the island. And we would like to. We wonder how he'd feel about being in charge of that.
An admiral? You want to give it an admiralty job?
Commodore. At the moment, we can't really we can't go designating admirals because we're not the king or the queen or anything. But effectively, we want him to take charge of the training and put his experience into the people we can find to enroll, so that we can start fielding things. And we'd like him to start by maybe he could start by keeping the crew on board and knocking them into shape a little bit, and making some recommendations about what we can do about sorting them into a pair of crews, or the nucleus of a pair of crews for the two ships.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion roll then.
Is that me? You don't want me to roll persuasion at the moment.
Whoever's got the best persuasion, then roll it. Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Wicked.
He's very much the idea of getting a high rank and obviously all the accoutrement that comes with said high rank. He seems very keen on that and says he and his men will we'll train the sailors and in and around the Balinese coast to sort
And
of
obviously,
make
with
them
our
ready.
With our experienced guys, if you can kind of size them up, because we would like to have those guys in the right sort of structure, the more experienced, so we know which ones are the more trustworthy ones that we can put above, and which ones are better off either doing their own thing or looking after smaller groups, so that we can make the best use of the people we have available. And obviously, if any of his crew want to stay on, then they're more than welcome to join up, and we can talk nicely to them about money, because we do now have 2 ships to man.
Okay. So you've got basically. So you need to give me 46 golds and what's 577? What's 577? 35.
385.
Yeah, and that in silver as well. So that's like what?
About 40 gold.
Yeah, 40 gold. So yeah, so it's like 80. Say 80. You need to give me 86 gold for this day, basically for a day. So that's currently what it's costing you. I've not taken in. Oh, actually, he costs you 5. We'll say a flat 100 gold, a day for everybody, including officers and Kirk and stuff like that. So you've got 100 gold a day currently.
But we can, once we've got a couple of days worth of training under them, we can think about going out and maybe trying to acquire some stuff to help supplement our income.
Yeah, bear in mind you're going to have some money coming in from. You'll get some money coming in from Camber Ford and stuff like that. Obviously, you need to pay their wages and stuff like that.
What about Jonto and his men? Are they still working for us?
Jonto, yeah. So you were offering to pay them for information and stuff.
Yeah. So we'll need to catch up with them.
Yeah.
So obviously we pull into port and we head. We see off the ship with some slightly betrayed looking sailors that looking bail for the inns and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
We go find Draken.
Yeah, go and find Draken and Glandra.
Yeah, and also that magic shop, so that Thomas can give him the tools to make the item that he needs or wants.
Okay.
I tell you what. You guys, if you want to carry on, I need to go and take care of something. I'm not feeling at my best, so I'm going to go and talk to some people in the Tinkerer's Quarter to see if there's any of them have any way or any advice to help. I'm feeling a little bit grumpy and irascible, in case you hadn't noticed of late.
What are we going to do with the cannon?
Oh yeah, so that's obviously been on.
Well, we need to get that attached to one of the 2 ships, don't we?
Yeah. So do you want to attach it to the? I'm assuming you want to put it on the Man of War.
Probably, yeah. If that's the one we're going to keep, yeah.
But well, we're going to keep both of them, aren't we? That's the whole point. We're trying to build up to 2 crews.
That's true enough, yeah.
Maybe if we worry about that one after the training.
Yeah.
I don't want them accidentally setting fire to the port on the way back in.
No,
are we back at Camber Ford, or are we going to Camber
No,
Ford?
we're in Tont now.
Okay.
We're in Tont. Yeah.
Camber Ford is not on the coast, mate.
Yeah, I know that, but
you can't go back. Like basically, at this moment in time, you can spend as much time as you want in Tont.
Still need to bury Augury, so
yeah, you've got obviously bury Augury and stuff. That's right. Yeah. That's true. You said you bring her back.
Yeah.
So that would obviously be Valashul's sort of priority.
I tell you what, I do need to take care of some things, but we do need to obviously take care of Augury. So why don't we go and find Galandra and Draken and explain everything to them?
So are they still in Tont, or are they in Camber Ford now?
Draken, what have you been doing while they've been away?
Draken's been basically
In the
working
tavern.
late. Pardon?
In the tavern.
By breathing in alcohol is not the best mix. Really not. No, you probably say abstain from alcohol just on general your life-preserving principles.
Unless it's funny.
Anyway, yeah, Draken's been doing what he can to work with Lady Ton to kind of build up relations between human and Dragonborn. He'd also be wanting kind of strengthen the links between the Dragonborn at the tower, at the Camberford, and here, and just basically make himself useful and just
So while
a
you've
pain in
been
the
while you've been away, which I think has been about like a week and a half, I think it would be.
he'd gone back to Camberford, checked out with the Dragonborn there, make sure they're okay, and also with the leader, which I think is that of them at the moment.
What was she called? She's on that list. I haven't got her many notes. I don't have her name. What was her name?
I can't remember the name, unfortunately. It's been several months since we last
Notes, people, notes. Says the man who hasn't got her written down in notes. But anyway, yeah, she's on the Discord. Anyway, so while you're sort of there at Camberford, Sir Tristan comes back with a gaggle of what looked like very sort of basically criminals, lowlives. The letters that sort of Val had sort of sent out with Sir Tristan to sort of get some people, and these are what he's got. He has got
90. Oh.
He has got you a group of 128.
Holy shit.
128 lowlifes, basically.
Convicts.
Lowlifes and convicts and things, who will obviously, he's brought them to Camberford. There's not going to be a lot of space for them. So yeah,
okay.
They'll obviously need be fed, billeted, all the stuff and stuff. But yeah, so you've got a lot of guys.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah,
soldiers.
Actually, their first job can be building their own cabins and shelters.
We'll just have them dig trenches and they can sleep in there.
No.
They're convicts. They don't need comfort. All right.
Yeah, but we got to keep them alive until the war.
Yeah, if you don't look after them, then they'll be no good to anyone.
And also, this is their
Penal
penance, and so let's give them a chance to do the penance without dying of exposure.
I'm the paladin here, all right.
We noticed.
Oh dear.
And I'm the Dragonborn.
Okay, so
but yeah, basically their first, and also this will encourage them to work together because just general kind of build team working by. Right, your first job is build your own cabins.
Fuck it up, and you're getting wet.
Exactly.
Okay.
But also kind of give them advice, give them get some carpenters to kind of direct them, but for their first duty, it will be to work together to build their own cabins, and that will be theirs.
Okay, so there's a lot of moaning and grumbling and stuff, but it's better than being in jail. So they sort of kind of get about sort of doing their thing. sort of some of the soldiers and stuff from Camberford sort of helping out some of the local engineer Atkinson's there, sort of sorting things out. Galandra sort of comes with you and sort of takes on with gusto, whipping these reprobates into line. As she's been a bit sort of, she's not been around as much, so she feels like she needs to sort of pull her weight. So she's sort of taken control of these convicts currently.
They're going to wish Draken had stayed in charge.
Yeah, and directing them.
Yeah, so Draken will leave Galandra, basically in charge of getting them into shape. You can check on the Dragon Bonds at the Camberford, make sure they're okay, and that there's been no disgruntlement amongst the Dragonborn.
So far, everything bar the sort of there's still sort of a few hurt sort of not feelings, but there's some a few issues with sort of the Dragonborn and obviously the humans due to sort of the fight that happened in Camberford, but they've made their pledges to you and to Uthrax, I think was the name of the former leader.
Yeah, Uthrax is the former leader.
And they've basically been rebuilding, helping rebuild, and sorting out the area. Some of the sort of local soldiers and stuff have been sorting out some of the sort of kind of the trade that's coming through. You're starting to sort of make a little bit of money, but obviously it's costing you money as well for the repairs and for paying for people, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, things everything seems to be kind of ticking along, just generally heading the right direction. Leave it there for the moment and head back to Taunt.
Okay. So So you leave Galandra sort of in sort of directing the guys, the sort of convicts. So Tristan stays with her to help, and you make your way back to Taunt. As you sort of kind of come back to the are you going to the hotel? Are you going back?
Yeah, well, basically, go back to Lady Taunt, make sure nothing's happened while he's been away.
Yeah. So you go back. Lady Taunt has been sort of. How many of the diplomats did you sort of escape with?
About half a dozen, wasn't it?
Yeah, Thomas, Lance, Val, delegates from Kyrelia, Cragmere, Sonus, Us, Bornlow, and Cornahum. Alright, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there is 10. So I think there's like another 4 who are sort of still there and not happy about it. But yeah. As you're sort of in the hotel, the others now, Lance, who's coming? So Tharval, Thomas, and Val come into the hotel. They've got obviously a wagon with them with a bit of sort of sort of like sort of a cloth over it, and there's no Lance either. Lance has taken himself off to somewhere else. So do you want to do Lance? Do you want to do your bit, or
if we leave it for a moment and just see where they want to take things for a little bit?
Okay, so Lance sort of he's acting slightly odd. Has been acting slightly odd. You could, I guess, you could even sort of call it glitchy. since the end of since basically seeing Augury's body, and he's not his sort of stoic self. He's more more irascible, more
less tolerant.
So he's taken himself off to try and see why he feels like he needs to be like fixed or something. He just doesn't understand why he sort of is the way he is. So he's taken himself off. The rest of you sort of make your way into the hotel. At the same time, Draken sort of is leading Mulebrenner up the road, and sees you sort of kind of stopping outside the hotel. So go from there.
Yeah. So I mean, are we? Take it we've got horses hitched up to our wagon
Yes.
that are taking us along. So we'll pull up to the hotel and call out to Draken to announce that we're back. We're here.
Draken walks up to them and tells Mulebrenner to get post and get them some food. Well met, friends.
And to yourself, wish it was under better circumstances. We have our fallen comrade in the wagon. We're stopping for the evening, but the plan is we take her back to Camberford to give her a proper burial.
You don't know about this, by the way, Draken. You are unaware.
I thought he knew.
So when you sort of mentioned to him your fallen comrade, this sort of feeling of dread starts coming over you as you count who's with you, and you first think it's Lance because he's not there.
Where was Lance?
Lance has taken himself off to effectively get a checkup from the artificers and make sure that everything's in working order. As far as I can tell from his comments, as he kind of mumbled and grouched off in his sort of Lancey way.
Yeah. It then dawns on you that the only other person who isn't with you is Augury.
Augury? Where's Augury? What has happened? What's happened to her?
We found Augury in Dry Harbour, but we were too late to be of any help to her.
You let her go alone.
We didn't let her go, as headstrong as she was. She by the time we realised she had gone, it was too late. We chased after her, but we didn't get there in time.
So you basically explain what's happened. You explain the false Hydra. You explain how you had no memory of any of this, and then you explain the death of your good friend. This obviously affects you because she's been there from the start. Draken, while sort of Thomas is explaining this to you, Valashul and Tharval are looking somewhat I think Tharval sort of takes himself off. Actually, I don't know what do you want to do. Actually, when both of you, what do you want to do when he's explaining this to Draken?
I mean, I don't really know what I would do in that situation. I guess Valashul's just stood with the cart.
Yeah, he just sort of
yeah,
he just sort of stands beside the cart,
sort of forlornly stood with the cart.
And Tharval.
Yeah, I mean, Tharval's gonna do as he normally does and struggles with this, and basically just sort of takes himself off on his own. Doesn't like to show emotion or anything like that. He basically is trying to take himself away from the situation where he might lose control.
Yep.
So
roll me perception.
Me?
Yeah.
Where's it gone?
As you're sort of kind of walking away, you notice Augury standing beside Mulebrenner, stroking its mane. Mulebrenner seems to sort of be reacting to this.
Tharavel, he approaches Mulebrenner and he starts sort of petting him on the nose. And in a somewhat sort of happy but upsetting sort of tone, he says to Augury, I keep on seeing you. I want this, but I don't. It's a sweet sorrow.
She smiles at you, touches your cheek, and then disappears.
Tharavel sort of holds Mulebrenner by the head, looks into his eye, and say, "You see her too," and then just sort of pats him on the head and walks off.
Okay. Right. So you've been you've been explaining what's happened. You're obviously quite upset yourself. She's she was a warrior of a good class, and she has taught you as much as you've taught her. So they've said that they want to go back to Camberford to give her a proper burial. Yeah, that's it.
The ones who do this pay the ultimate price.
There is very little left of them.
That is good. Jackin goes round and makes sure she's in repose and holding a weapon.
A weapon.
Priorities.
Yep. She's got her sword, so Val sort of give her sword, so she's got her sword with her.
Jackin just makes sure like her hands clasped on the sword.
Yeah.
If she has hands left.
Yes,
she
does. Oh, she will.
She has hands left. Yeah. So, what's next then? What are we doing while in Taunt for the overnight?
So before turning in, once we're settled and checked into the hotel, Thomas wants to head back to the Magic Quarter and find the merchant and see if he's still about, if he's still open.
Okay. Draken, what are you up to?
Draken is going to be watching over Augury.
Okay, so you're standing.
Yep.
Beside Augury. Okay. Val, what are you up to?
I will also stand with Augury.
Okay. And Tharavel, what are you up to?
He
demands to have more beer.
He's obviously sort of, trying to keep his distance, but he wants to sort of remain close to Augury. He doesn't want to sort of keep her out of his sight. Was
there something you wanted to tell us, Tharavel?
Thomas, necromance her so I can romance her.
No.
I've got to be honest. She doesn't need to be animated for that.
I think that's
Grim.
it's called munting, I think, isn't it?
Grim.
No.
No. So he just he's
Purged.
just sort of he stays in and around Augury as well.
Okay. So a lady taunt comes out, and looks quite happy to see you, and asks, same thing with Draken. What's happened? Did you find what you needed to, and did you get the diplomats? And you tell her exactly what's happened, and she's known Augury too, and gets quite upset as well at the loss of somebody who has been there from the start, effectively. She offers her a burial place in the Temple of Marduk, and Marduk, if she wants it. Or she can be buried in the with all the fallen heroes from Falcross Bridge and Silkside at the what was the name of it? It's like a heroes memorial. Fuck, what's it called?
Do you know there's like stone crypts that had like the carving of the person on top of them?
Yes.
Can Valashul commission one of those?
Yes, you can.
All right. There we go. That's what Val's going to go do.
No, not a mausoleum. You're thinking of?
I'm
No, it's
not
more
too
like a
sure.
sarcophagus sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was looking
like-
for Matt because he was trying to think of a word. Yeah, but sarcophagus would be right for what Balachul was talking about. But I was saying, was Matt trying to think of mausoleum or something like that?
Well, there's like a big
It'd be kind of like
in the middle
the-
of Falcross. Like, I'll see if I'll show it to you on the.
be like the Falcross equivalent of Arlington Memorial.
Yeah, so like
I guess.
You've got like this obelisk just south of
Mhm.
Falcross. It's where they're sort of effectively their big where they bury all their heroes. So you can
I
have
think that could probably work because I don't think
Yeah.
Camberford is going to be our long-term home.
So it'd be better to bury her with the rest of the heroes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Valashul agrees, even.
okay. So
Cenotaph.
the cenotaph, yeah, it's like a cenotaph. Yeah, it's like a
Cenotaph,
cenotaph. Yeah. So she says she'll get her bodyguard to escort you there in the morning. Yeah, so she puts her hand on Valashul's shoulder, and she says to you, I know how much she meant to you. I'm here if you need me.
Oh.
Yeah, not in that way, but I'm here if you need me.
You got over that
Paladin.
quick.
Yeah.
I'm an angel, I move fast.
Yeah.
Mortal feelings aren't meant for me. Anyway, Valashul bows his head in thanks and doesn't really say anything but gives her like a smile regardless and continues on.
Okay. While she's there, she says, have you seen she says to Tharavel, have you seen Ciravel since you've come back?
No, have you an idea of his whereabouts? He had last I heard he was looking for his wife. I need to catch up with him.
She says he went off with Temple Smith to try and do some reconnaissance at the at Kibarath, and and so far they have not returned.
Okay, so Tharaval sort of feels quite urgent now that for the concern of Saravel. Can you tell me what you know as to what their plans were? What port they went to, how they decided to, how they were looking to approach the island? Anything that you can tell me will be helpful.
All she knows is that he was going to find he was going to do he was going to scout the island. He was going to scout the island and try and find as much information as he could to rescue his wife and find a best entry point for any invasion of the island.
What means of transport did they use to get there? What?
They had like a small sloop. Temple Smith had a small sloop with a few hand-picked men.
I feel Saraval needs to go and basically do for his brother what he actually promised, because he's not really done anything yet.
Okay, you have a think about that. We'll go on. Thomas, you have taken yourself off to the Magic Quarter. So you take yourself to the Magic Quarter, where you you go to the shop where what was the guy called? Sandar. It was Sandar, wasn't it? You have I forgot you guys had what's his name with you? Called Eldrildor.
No, I thought we couldn't find him.
No, you found him, and he was crazy
Yeah.
in the crowd.
That's right. No, we did find him. We did find him.
Yeah. So you've sort of got him with you, and you've brought him. Sort of. He's not there. He's sort of completely out of it. But he's sort of. You've got a little bit of rope tied to him, and you're sort of kind of bringing him with you. To
like my own little mule brinner.
Yeah, your own little mule brinner. To Sandar's. And I can't remember what accent they give Sandars, but my friend, he says he sees you first, and he's like, "My friend, how goes your journey?" And he sort of kind of stops and looks and says, "Eldrador, is that you, my? Is that what has happened to you? What has happened to you?" And he sort of runs over to him, as this sort of kind of very disheveled looking. Mage sort of stares blankly at him.
So Thomas looks up and says, "He may not be the man you remember. He has suffered quite a psychological trauma at the hands of a false Hydra over in what are now the ruins of Dry Harbour."
He looks at you. He looks at you straight and he says, "My friend," he looks at and he says, "My friend, you're always getting yourself into trouble. Oh no. I will look after you. I will you come here." And he sort of puts his arm around Eldrador and starts walking him off towards the shop.
So Thomas reaches into his pack, hands over the set of runic tools, and says, amongst other things, we did manage to recover these tools. Hopefully, between the two of you, you will be able to make good on your promise.
Okay. What was he making you?
I think he was making an item that could restore spell points for me, so that I could be a bit more useful in a longer battle.
Okay, cool. All right, so he sort of looks at these sort of runic tools. His eyes sort of glow. His sort of dismay about his friend's condition seems to sort of kind of sway slightly as he starts looking at these tools. He says, "My friend, these are such beautiful, beautiful items. I am going to have the best magic shop in all of Taunt, in all of Balon with tools like this. I will make this for you. I am a man of my word. You come back in a couple of days, and it will be yours."
Yeah. And Thomas looks up and says, "Just remember, those tools are not yours. They do belong to your friend. I do hope you can bring him back from the brink."
Of course. Eldrador, need not mind that I used them. He'll be fine. Isn't that right, Eldrador? As he sort of kind of puts his arm around him and sort of laughs with him. Eldrador is just standing there, just looking completely blank. And
Can Thomas sort of tell whether the merchant is entirely honest, or if he's just using Eldrador to his own means?
Roll me insight.
Okay, so probably not then. Ooh, maybe.
You can tell that he was sorry to see him in that state, but you can also tell that he's sort of thinking, well, if he's like this, then it's less competition. I've got some nice tools. You don't think he's going to do him any harm, but let's just say he's not going to be sort of probably overly helpful.
Okay. So I will be back in a few days, as agreed. I hope to see our friend in much better spirits on my return.
Of course, my friend. I look after him. He's my best friend. We've known each other for years. He'll be fine after a few of my elixirs. Right as rain.
Thomas nods. I bid you good day, sir, and I will see you soon.
He says, "Farewell. Your item will be with you in a couple of days. It is going to be top class with these amazing tools. Oh, so good, so nice. You trust me."
Thomas nods and turns to leave.
Yep. Okay. Lance.
Yes.
What are you up to?
So I'm not feeling myself, and I make my excuses to get away from everybody because I'm aware that something isn't right. Even walking is a bit odd, and I find myself stumbling occasionally. It feels like I'm not. It feels like I'm the wrong shape for my skin, which is strange considering I'm made out of wood and ceramic and so on. And so I point myself in the right direction and try to get to the artificers area to see if someone there might be able to assist me.
As you go to the artificers, roll me a perception check. Okay.
Had to run out sooner or later, didn't I?
Okay. You in your sort of current state, you're not really picking up on what you kind of go towards where Cleveland's store was. What was the name of his rival, by the way? I can't remember the name of his rival. But you go to his store and it's closed because obviously he's sort of he's down in Camberford. You do sort of see, I can't remember what his name was. Fuck. Anyway, his rival sort of eyeing you up and comes over to you. So, "Oh, my friend, it looks like our mutual acquaintance has left you high and dry. Is there anything I can do for you?"
I think you'll find that he's elsewhere at the moment. I'm not feeling myself. I would appreciate a little assistance if you could, because I fear I am becoming a little unsettled, and I reach out to him and stumble and accidentally fall across him.
As you sort of fall across him, you sort of knock him over. As he sort of squeaks for help, and some of his sort of menials sort of come over and lift you up, and lift you up, and obviously lift him up as well. He says, "Right, get him in the workshop, quick!" As they sort of kind of pull you into the workshop.
As I come in, I trip again and fall across some of his gear. I find that my legs aren't entirely steady, and I accidentally lash out with my arms and put my fist through the side of a cabinet, and look a little embarrassed, and find that it's hard to even apologise properly because what comes out seems to be kind of jumbled.
Yeah. He seems slightly panicked. Because he's not dealt with a Warforged before. He's sort of swearing to himself, and sort of mumbles under his breath, "Where's that damn Cleveland when you need him?" He sort of gets his menials to sort of put you all on his workbench, and they start to sort of strap you down onto the workbench. He says, "Now, this is for your own safety and the safety of my shop, so please try your best not to do me any mischief. I'm trying to help you."
I try really hard not to, but one of my legs twitches, and one of the menials doesn't get out of the way quickly enough.
Okay, you basically kick one of the menials over over a bench, hurting him quite grievously. He calls in for more help, and then turns around to one of the other menials and says, "Get me that Cleveland, quick! Get me that Cleveland quickly! I saw him running around here recently. He's got to be here still. Go and find him."
I grind. Well, I suppose you could say grind my teeth, but I don't have teeth. I just keep murmuring to myself, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!"
So more menials come in. There's a few sort of kind of bystanders and stuff looking through the windows. People sort of crowded around the shop, seeing this sort of kind of spectacle unfold.
Yeah, I find myself rocking and twitching even though I'm strapped down, and it's getting quite distressing because I'm trying to lay still, but things feel. I feel almost like I'm itching.
He sort
my
of
head's buzzing.
He looks at you and says, "What can I do? I don't know how to. For all my bluster, I don't know how to deal with your type. Is there anything you can help me with?"
We found magical crystal, possibly a little help from someone from Magic Quarter, maybe. Don't understand what's going on.
Right. He sort of does another glance to one of the sort of menials, and sort of nods from off to go to the Magic Quarter to try and find somebody to help. About half an hour later, Cleveland sort of kind of gets sort of bundled in through the door, and what the bloody hell's going on here? What? And then he sort of stops himself as he sees you on the table. He says, "Lance, what the hell, my boy? What's going on here?" And he sort of kind of runs up to you.
Something's very wrong. Something's not right. Don't understand.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Don't you worry. I'll get you fixed up. Don't you worry, son. Don't you worry. He starts sort of kind of barking orders around, to the slight annoyance of I can't remember the name of the rival, but his rival. But obviously, them being slightly helpless, sort of just abide by it. He turns around to you and says, I'm going to put you to sleep here for a minute. When you wake up, you'll feel a lot better. Trust me.
Can't feel much worse.
As he sort of puts his hand on your chest, and then he sort of kind of does something with his hand, and you switch off, basically. It all goes dark. Okay. Back to the hotel. What are the rest of you doing?
How close is the magic quarter to the artificers? I think they're quite close by, aren't they?
Yeah, you're. Let me just get the. Font is there. So 2 is the the old 2 is where the artificers are, and 3 apple sides where the magic quarter is.
Okay, and 1 is where the inn is?
Yeah, 1's where the inn is, yeah.
Okay, so it's not inconceivable that Thomas could kind of stroll through the artificers bit on the way, just having a nose to see if he can see Lance anywhere, to see...
Yeah, you can
have a look at what's happening.
You see a very... As you're walking through the... actually, roll me a perception check. You see a very earnest-looking menial running around trying to find a... just grabbing a hold of mages left, right, and center, and people asking for help.
Okay, we'll head in that direction and offer services.
He says, "Are you a mage? Can you help me? Are you a mage?"
I'm a mage. I would be happy to help. What's the problem?
My master, he needs you. We got one of those damn warforged in the shop. He doesn't know what to do. He was told that he needed a mage. Come with me. Come on, come with me.
Okay. Thomas tries to keep the comprehension from my face. Disguise it with a look of concern, and run with the little helper dude.
Okay, so you make your way, and you sort of kind of come to this workshop, which is surrounded by a crowd of people who are sort of kind of looking in through the windows and generally sort of talking and whispering with each other about what's going on. You sort of have to try and push yourself through the crowd to get in. As you get into the workshop, you see Cleveland working on Lance, who's lying on the table. His chest has opened up. You can see the crystal within the chest sort of kind of there. And he sort of kind of looks at you and says, "You'll do. Get over here."
Okay, I'll walk over.
And he says, "It would seem your friend has had a bit of a malfunction. Whatever's happened in the last couple of weeks has done him a mischief. I'm going to have to, for better words, operate. I need to fill this vial up with some sort of magic essence to give him a new lease of life.
Okay, I'll take the vial.
Yeah.
And inspect.
Yep. So you take it out of this. It comes out of. It's got this sort of like these like clasps. It's very strange. You're reaching into the chest of your friend, and effectively taking out his heart. You take this quite ornate-looking crystal, and as you do so, the crystals within Ogma's balance start to sort of throb and go. Woo, 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 woo.
Okay, so holding the crystal from Lance, sort of away from myself and from Ogma's balance, I will use one of the light charges in Ogma's balance to sort of recharge the crystal from Lance.
Okay. How many charges have you got left, by the way?
2 light charges left.
Yeah. Okay. So roll. Okay, so you do that. Roll me a D100. All right. Okay.
Yay.
Okay. So you charge the crystal. And you hand it to Cleveland, who sort of kind of gently sort of places it back into Lance's chest. As it does so, Lance sort of jolts slightly, like starts to sort of kind of convulse. So slightly, he says to you, "Do you have any spells or anything that can restrain him?"
Fireball.
Oh.
Restrain, not atomize.
All right, my bad.
That's the whole collateral damage thing. Yeah. What
Potato,
artificer's quarter is that?
The
Breaking eggs.
closest spell I've got for restraining is the slow spell.
Okay, he says, "I'll have to do. I can't have him jolting when I'm working on him."
Okay, I'll cast slow on Lance and Lance only then.
Okay, so his movements do slow down, and it gives him some time to sort of restrain him somewhat more. He says, "You can stay with me if you want, but this is going to take a while. Unfortunately, who he was before might be lost, so I can't promise you any miracles, but I'll try my best to save his life."
He is my friend and my companion. If there's anything I can do to help, I will be here.
He nods and sort of carries on, sort of tinkering in the chest of Lance. Okay, back to the hotel. Tharaval, Val, Draken, what he's doing?
Draken's still standing outside on funeral watch.
Okay, so you stay. Are you going to stay there all night?
Yep.
You're standing a vigil all night, Val.
Yep.
Valashul's gone back to his chambers for the night. He's turned in. In the meantime, he's gonna scribble up a very poor drawing of the idea he has for the crypt or sarcophagus.
Yep, cool. Sounds good.
Anyone got any crayons for him?
Yeah, exactly. Marine style.
Tharaval?
Tharaval's he's torn at the minute because as he he sort of feels urgency to go and find Ceravel. At the same time, he doesn't want to leave Augury before the funeral. So he's basically looking for a bit of guidance as he's seen Augury. He sort of takes himself off, and he sort of puts his hand on the necklace that he had, and he sort of grips it tight and sort of concentrates to see if he can.
Roll me
almost-
religion. Roll me religion.
God damn it! Where's everything gone? Religion.
Yeah, nothing happens. You sort of try very hard to sort of commune with her, but you don't get any response.
So it's nighttime, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting late. Yeah.
I think for the time being, he's gonna take himself off and have a rest, and think what to do in the morning.
Okay. So Thomas is with Lance, Draken
for as long as it
standing
takes.
standing vigil. Val's taking himself off to do some sort of doodling. And Tharval has taken himself off for a bit of a rest as well. Do you want to leave it there, by the way? 10 to 11?
I think that'd be an idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we can
Okay,
start
yeah.
off in the next day. Okay, cool. All right, cool. We'll leave it there then. What do we need to know? What are we gonna do? Yeah, just have a sort of idea of where you want to go next from this position. At some point, I want to sort of kind of get some sort of view on how we're going to deal with. Obviously, we need to get sort of intel and stuff. We need how we're going to deal with Kibarath and
Eyeball.
yes, Fireball. And
I thought he said terrible.
terrible, terrible. Cool. All right. We'll leave it there. For you who've been watching, and there's been a few, four of you at one point in time, which was very good. Thank you very much. Cheers. Much appreciated. You can watch back any of the episodes you've missed on our YouTube channel. We do have some Discord offline role playing going on as well sometimes, so check out the Discord. Other than that, I've been Matt Geary. With me tonight has been Michael Starval.
Hi everyone.
Wes is Falshel Nostius.
Not everyone.
Dave is Thomas Moonstar.
Good night, all.
Mark is Lance.
Twitch.
And Pete is Draken.
Night, everyone. And look after each other.
Night.
Bye.
Right.